Now look at you walking in here looking all pretty and angry and mean and good. I know you didn't get your hair done so you could just sit down and just sit still.
Hey, we trying to have a good time tonight. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. It's my birthday. No, it's not. But I still look good, though. Come on. I bet you want an autograph. You and your friends. Gotta do it in the penthouse.
On July 11, 2000, Fascisti Murphy McKenzie became the first woman elected bishop in African-American Methodist Episcopal Church. McKenzie became bishop of the 18th Episcopal District in Southeast Africa that includes Botswana, Swaziland, and Mozambique. That's where my dad's from. Where there are 10,000 members and 200 churches. The commanding preacher achieved a first in 1990 as well when she was appointed pastor of Payne Memorial AME Church, a large church in Baltimore. Under her leadership, Payne instituted 25 new ministries and increased the size of its memberships from 300 to over 1,700. After working as journalist and as a broadcaster in a Christian radio station, she received a degree from Howard University and a doctorate of divinity in the United Theological Seminary of Dayton, Ohio in 1997. Ebony magazine named McKenzie one of the 15 greatest African-American preachers and placed her at the top of the list.
So this is what we do. Hey, you read them a lot better than I do. Let me tell you something. I struggle too. But we don't do Black History Month. We do Black History every day of the week, okay? So this is Black First is brought to you by Lew for You 2022. We're here at the Roy Smith Law Firm having a great interview. This is 3 Shades of Black. This is amazing. These are my peoples. So I wanted to talk about the voter suppression law, the Voter Rights Act, and here's the thing about voter ID. I think in politics is a full contact sport, right? People are going to do, Republicans know if we get all these people that Sundays, voting later on Sundays, drinking them water in line, we get them out, we have a better chance of winning. Democrats, on the other hand, be like, if we can get a bunch of people, and I'm going to say something that I don't necessarily agree with, that maybe don't have IDs, maybe if they're coming here undocumented people, but they got IDs, that can be good to pad their voter block. I think something that's very, very simple that I believe in. I don't understand why people want to debate whether or not having a voter ID should be an issue. However, I do know that there are older people who lost their ID, can't pay $25 to go to get an ID, and the hospital that they were born, their birth certificate, it's a troubling, challenging situation. But I say don't spend all your capital on something that's going to be something that can be easily challenged. If someone's going to say, you need an ID for tickets, or you need an ID for cigarettes, you need an ID to get in a bar, you need an ID to drive. I'm just curious what your thoughts are, Mr. Smith, in regard to the whole voter suppression law, voter rights act. Stacey Abrams is even making some concessions. Now we talk about your daughter.
Well, my daughter just turned 18.
Okay.
I give Stacey Abrams a lot of credit for doing everything that she did in Georgia. All this voter ID controversy is complicated because yes, there are senior citizens and people who don't have the normal lifestyle that produces a voter ID. Yes, Republicans and conservatives are trying to reduce voter rolls or expunge voter rolls to win elections, but in my opinion, it's more important to focus on what's on the kitchen table and what's in the pocketbooks and the wallets and the 401ks and the retirement plans and the healthcare plans of Americans. So, yeah, you can fudge the voter ID, you can do gerrymandering, and yes, as a lawyer, yeah, we're fighting over all that gerrymandering and all of that. Wouldn't it be good if you just had a message that actually made sense to average and working people? Wouldn't it be good if you brought the factory back to town? Wouldn't it be good if you brought the jobs back, the teachers were paid well, incentivized, not canceled, and all of that mess? Wouldn't it be good if I could be born in Kensington or Kentucky and have $10,000 per student per kid? Because I promise you, any politician that gets that done will get it done.
Perfect.
It's funny, I Googled it on my way over here, but I just made sure I had the facts right. But people in Pennsylvania, Wolf signed it in 2020, that you can get a free ID. And, everyone should get an ID. I have friends who are on welfare, and $31.
Wait. He signed that when?
2020.
Okay. So we made some progress. And I knew before that you could go on.
But people don't know about this.
Yeah, sure.
As I didn't, because I did double check. But I think that, ultimately it's trying to suppress the vote. And people in the know feel that most, which is not true, because you saw how many poor people voted for Trump. But for some odd reason, there's a stigma out there that all poor people vote Democrat. But my thing is, why would you want to suppress a vote? Is your candidate that weak? Again, I'm all about having a national holiday on election day, and if my guy loses or my girl loses, they lose. But at least I know all the votes were not only counted, but everyone who wanted to vote could vote. In 2008, I drove maybe 300 people to the polls. And my favorite story is, I see this old lady standing in front of the old folks' home, and after like the fifth drop off, I'm like, what are you waiting for? And she's like, oh, I'm waiting for my son, but he's held up at work. And she was there maybe 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, I'll just give you a ride. She's like, well, and some of the people, had their Obama buttons on. And, I told them, hey, make sure you take that off before you go in there, because, all hell will break loose. And she's like, well, I'm not voting for Obama. I'm like, get in the car. And I took her to vote because I didn't want him to lose, because I helped suppress the vote. And I think that, if you feel you need to cheat to get your city councilman, your state senator elected, you probably should be shopping for a better candidate, not making sure Sally, who has 2 jobs, has no way to vote today.
That's powerful. We need more people like you in office. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I agree. We can all agree on something. We can all disagree on something. We can all agree on that. I love too.
That's these questions.
Look for you, 2022. The last thing I want to talk about is so here's what I understand. Lin-Manuel Miranda, if I'm saying that, so it's a lot of vowels in that name, okay? This dude has to apologize for coming out with a movie and not having the right type of Afro-Latin person in the cast. Now, he's a Puerto Rican. He's got Puerto Ricans in the film. This is the dude, and I got this from Bill Maher's Great. This is the dude that gave you the black forefathers. I mean, this dude is celebrating diversity. And we're in a world right now where the pendulum has swung. It used to be we didn't talk about race. Now we talk about race every single step of the way. And I'll be honest with you, even for me, sometimes it's it gets a little bit much. It's okay, people worked at it was IKEA, and the IKEA folks, I think they had a Juneteenth party. And they brought watermelon for the staff. And the staff got, listen, what's wrong with watermelon? What's wrong with watermelon? Watermelon's good, okay? But I didn't realize, historically, I guess they fed slaves watermelon. I don't know.
And it was fried chicken with bread.
Listen, I love fried. Are you serious?
Yeah.
They had a
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Google it. Oh yeah, I looked at it.
I don't want to Google it. I don't want to Google it.
are we in a place
I know.
where we're so racially sensitive? Are we going too far? Listen, I like chicken and watermelon. I would have ate up that party. I had a good time. Royce, what you talking about, Royce?
I'll give it a quick one.
You had a party.
I'm gonna do it quick.
For Judge
do it
Moore.
quick. I
There was
did Judge
some
Moore.
fried chicken. There was some fried chicken in there.
We had 3 types of chicken, by the way. We had 3 types of chicken, by the way.
And
I got
a watermelon too.
Look, here's the bottom line. People of color and women who own and run businesses tend to hire people of the same path. So Lin-Manuel, between the first cast on Broadway, the show that was at the Prince Theater that I went to down here in Philadelphia, and all the other shows that I don't even know where they were, probably hired more black people and fed more black and brown mouths than anybody you or you know. Okay? Number 1. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. 20% of our kids in this country, the so-called richest country in the world, are in poverty. But you gonna talk about what complexion Lin-Manuel's cast is on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or whatever movie. In Get Out, they had to have white people in Get Out, right? They had to have white people, right? Come on, man. Focus on what it is and stop falling for the bull job.
I think it'll die, the story, in 48 hours because he owned up to it. He apologized.
Sure.
And I read the statement today. And, one thing that still has legs, how many years later, is Deflategate. Why? Because Tom Brady, who played football since he was 12,
Where's my jersey?
is saying that he didn't realize that the football was so underweight. Now, again, the analogy I've always said, I think I said it to you once, is that's like Eddie Van Halen, God rest in peace, saying his last Van Halen concert, he couldn't tell the guitar was out of tune. So the thing is that he got in front of it, admitted that, okay, he overlooked that and he's going to fix it for next time, apologized, and now it's over. But, since we're talking about politics, I think the problem is people like, oh yeah, you know what, I voted for that bill, I really shouldn't have. At least say that. But they want to just keep digging in, so now it just gets weird, and change can't happen. I would respect any politician if they said, yeah, you know what, I really messed up on that one. So I'm gonna draft a new bill and do this, or my bad, or I'm gonna raise money for these cops I voted against, or whatever it is. But at least he took ownership of his mistake.
Sure.
So I respect him if nothing else.
Sure. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to get you guys both final thoughts, and I will say that the Royce Smith Law Firm, the episode we had, the first episode, was the second highest viewed episode in all of the 20 episodes. My pilot was the first highest viewed, so that's why I came back to this high yellow law firm.
All day long.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. You guys got 30 seconds for your final thoughts. All right, I'm gonna start with you, sir.
My whole thing is that we have to work together. We have to stop. This is how I'm voting. This is me. We have to look out for the common good. And I think, again, I'm really inspired on what President Biden did today, getting Republicans and Democrats to, for the first time in a long time, to get the people's business done. We're going to build new roads, fix the bridges, which are completely screwed up. There's so much rust coming in these bridges. I was on 76 today. I'm waiting for them to fall down, like you just saw happen in DC. I think that I think hopefully we're turning a page. Hopefully people are inviting all their family to Thanksgiving this year. First off, we can do it now, but the talk of, I didn't invite somebody because he was for Hillary or she was for Trump. We're better than that. And I think it's time that we actually start working together. And I think we need politicians who have lived, just don't I'm not going to pander to anyone. I'm not going to go to Erie and say one thing and then come in to Pennsylvania or Philadelphia and say the exact opposite, just to like pander and get some weird votes. We need integrity, and I think we can do it. I know our best days are ahead of us, and I have hope.
Perfect. All right. So once again, the word of the day was concise. So Mr. Royce Smith.
Yeah, I have a concise message. Thank you, Lew, for joining me here at my office. As a fellow Temple grad, that's awesome. At Temple Law School, they said, real world, real law. In the real world, you have a table. Like we're looking at a table right now. That's my daughter. I have her dad. Some folk don't have a table. They don't have plates or food to put on the table. I help them put food in plates and get tables. Real law, there are lawyers out there who don't understand the journey that we all have, or most of us have run as single parents or divorced parents or whatever it is. There's more fight in my law firm. There's more fight at my table. There's more food at my table because I will fight for you, because I fought for my family, for my mother, for my daughter, and everyone who's associated with this firm. So at the end of the day,
All right, that was a great one. I appreciate it.
yeah, I just
Cool.
let it fade.
I just wanted to leave you guys with this one quote.
Honestly, let it fade. 'Cause I
Okay,
had no idea
all
where
right,
it
cool,
was going.
exactly. I like the quote of the day is a school.
Concise.
A school is a building with four walls with tomorrow inside. Lon Walters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We're gonna come back and do a follow-up interview with this. Life is short. Go out, do stand-up. Come to the Royce Smith Law Firm and take a picture with Royce Smith. Like, do something creative. Love. There was a building that was leveled in Miami, and there's a bunch of people that aren't going to be with us anymore. The people that you love, grab them, hug them, tell them how much you love them. Learn. We learned something new today. We learned Black First. We learned that Royce is fashionable. It's all good. You know what I'm saying?
I look good today.
We didn't do that. And laugh.
And
Stiegels. when you're done. Yeah, the Stiegels. We know about the Stiegels.
I can't believe
listen,
I can't believe
okay, I'm not done. I'm closing out. Okay, and live, love, learn, and then laugh. Laughter is life is better with laughter. Life, you zero in on him. Life is better with laughter. Between Two Perms, a place for learning and laughter. I will be at Philly's Funniest July 14th. I will be at the Craft Beer Store June 29th. 27th. Okay, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday fun day. It's a happy hour, open mic comedy night. And if you break your arm and your employer doesn't want to pay, Royce will make a pay. I forget what I was saying about that. Lew, for you,
we carry.
Hold on. Lew, for you, 2022. The choice is Royce. If there's a topic of concerns, we'll discuss it between two perms. That's it. Hey.
With your bad self.